Good morning. It is the 27th, I believe. The 27th of September 2023. It has been autumn for what, a few days now, but sure don't feel like autumn. And sure won't probably until late October, early November. And you'll start feeling some coolness. We're looking at this morning. I want to do a review of One Page Read, Guns in the Summerwood by Patterson. I've been meaning to do a video on this for quite a while, review on this quite a while, and I just didn't think that I was ready for that. But today we're going to do a review, and I might show you a few of the mechanics. So let's get into it. You've got a few pages of rules here. And it's the rules aren't nothing too difficult, although there were parts of them that were a little ambiguous, and we might talk about that. And then we get into, but it's, what is this here? Page 10, maybe, something like that. 7, 12, like 15 pages of rules, but big, nice font you can read. Love that. Love the reading of it, being able to read it. And then you get to the sheet here, and this is really the meat of the game, is the play sheets, and there's plenty of them in there. And then they give you one of them in black and white, the good copy, and it goes out a good copy. I really appreciated that. I thought that was a nice touch. But it's there's a little to it. You're going to start off here. If you look at the sequence of play, it's going to start off by weather steps, right? You're going to check the weather. Boom. It's a 2. So for this turn, the weather is going to be a, what is that? I can't read from that far away. I know better. It's going to be cool. So it's going to be a +1 to your pistol. So close combat's going to be easier. Well, look at what I did there. Sorry, y'all. But close combat being like that, +1 to pistols, that's just a +1 is, way I understand it, is 1 extra die, right? Or -1, so you get +1 in melee with your pistols. Secondly, spotter step, you're going to generate adjacent terrain and then make a rifle roll to spot. Okay, yeah, let me see if I remember how to. I know the rifle roll. Let's see here. Make sure I'm not totally. Make sure I'm totally on board here. Let's see, the spotter. That's a 2. I need to get it over in here. Damage, taking damage. Too far now. Stamina, movement, combat. Spot must be over here somewhere. Spotter step. If you still have your spyglass, okay. So I do still have my spyglass. That's what I forgot. It can get broke. So I have my spyglass. So I'm starting here. So I'm just gonna roll for the terrain, adjacent terrain, right? And so I'm rolling for here, by the way, and it's a 3, and it is woods. Just draw a tree, and that is good for a wood. I'm not gonna make it look any kind of way. Then I'm gonna roll for here, and it is a 2. So it's a is that a road? It's a path. It's a path. It's a footpath. All right. So obviously easier to go through than a wood. 1 movement point's all I need, right? And then a spotter step. I'm going to roll for rifle roll, and your rifle roll is right here. And my rifle roll is going to be 4. I'm going to use 4 dice. And at your rifle roll, you're rolling to see if you can spot any nearby enemies. I'm going to try to move into here, so that's where I'm going to try to spot. And I do spot nearby enemies. Had to roll at least 1 4 over. That's what we're looking for. 4s are over in here. So I'm going to roll for the enemy unit in that area. And it's going to be a 1. It's a British patrol. And it's just going to be one of them too, right? Because of here, it's going to be 1. So very, very well done. And I made my spotter step and a stamina roll. If I'm going to move into there, what kind of stamina roll? I got to get points. So I passed. Man, look at that. I've only got 1 movement point. But that's all I need to go into a footpath. So I use it to keep track of your movement points. Now I'm back to 0. When I get in here. Once I get in here, it's going to be getting into combat. So you're going to make your rifle roll for preliminary attacks. That only happens if you spotted the enemy. So I will make 1 rifle roll in a preliminary attack. Now we'll get 2 points, but I'll only use 1 because I'll take him out, right? So yeah, I don't think I'll roll them over. Take him out. So we're good here, but enemy action. If adjacent enemies remain, of course, there's going to be an enemy in this adjacent step. I'm going to roll their morale needs to be a 1. It's a 2. They're not going to take part in that, believe it or not. So the combat's over with that, technically. I'm done here. And so I'm going to keep going like that, and I'm going to check for these adjacent ones, and I'm going to keep moving until, you know, I either get, and I will get 1 victory point there, right? Get enough victory points, which I find the victory points and getting to the end very similar, right? And then that's pretty much the game. There is other things to it, but that's pretty much a turn. There wasn't any, nobody fired back at me. I was able to take care of everybody. So yeah, that's it. And you just keep moving like that, and more things happen. But you know, that's basically the game. So a few of the. Hope I did everything right. I might have got something wrong. I don't know. I'm not being really anal about it right now. So, what did I think about the game? First of all, the book. The layout of the book is how the book looks. Everything about the book I love. I love the book. Love nice font to read. Yeah, I love the book. The only thing I would have done differently. I wouldn't have a matte finish. I'd have a glossy finish. But other than that, I mean, that's a nitpick. Other than that, I don't like the feel of this matte. Other than that, it's fabulous what's been done with the book, actually out of the book. Like I said, the main part of the game, this is the most important, in my opinion, the most important piece of the game. Now there's a lot to it. There's a lot to read and a lot to keep track of. Almost, for a simple game, almost too much to keep track of. That's one of those things that almost too busy, right? But once you learn where everything's at, it makes sense. But at first, it's going to seem way too busy. Rules. What do I think about the rules? Rules are okay. I learned how to play the game. There's only really one ambiguous part, and it was when adjacent hexes come into play. I'm assuming the rules didn't really state, I don't think. I'm assuming that there's going to be enemies there, and you're just going to populate them after you, after you find out if he's going to be into combat with you or not. But other than that, yeah, they were easy. They were easy to find, and trust me, I understand rule writing. I understand how how hard it can be, and then I hate rule writing. Um, but in here, yes, the rules were fine, no problem, no problem learning the game by that. The game itself, how is it? Well, I played One Page Bulge, and I will say, I think this is better than One Page Bulge. You got a few more. You have a few more decisions to make than you would in something like One Page Bulge. There are a few decisions to make, whether you retreat or not, whether you keep in combat, where you want to go on the board, where you want to, if you want to move on with low stamina and possibly risk something from you, risk something, risk losing people or risk damaging your own self due to low stamina. There are some decisions to make, believe it or not, when learning the game. But there is a lot of die rolling, a whole bunch of dice rolling. And that's, when I was first learning the game, it kind of came up lackluster. And you can tell by some of my playthroughs, that's an abandoned playthrough right there. I just said I don't like it. And then there's one I got through where I said, yeah, kind of like it. You start seeing, I start getting through some of those, and I start saying, okay, maybe it's not like I thought. But yeah, at first it came up real lackluster until I learned all the steps. And once you learn all the steps, and once you can move fairly quickly, it makes more sense, believe it or not. I don't reading the rules and reading the game, I didn't know. I thought I may not like it, but once I start playing, I thought, man, I don't think I like this. But once I learned the rules and I kept going, I learned to like it more, or it was better for me at least. So yeah, easy game, simple game. Is it worth the money I spent? I think it's $15 or $16. Definitely worth the money I spent. For maybe if you were, or maybe as if you're a experienced war gamer, this may not be for you. Just a warning there. If you're an experienced war gamer, I think you can find something similar price range and similar top that might have a little bit more meat on the bone. Right? There's maybe one of the Lambo games, or which is kind of similar, or some other games have a little bit more to it, right? Because this is basically just die rolling and moving. But if you're first starting out in wargaming, I think this is would be a really good primer for you to learn how to play a solitaire war game. I think it would be a really good primer for that. So, yeah. And once you would learn this, I think you could move on to more difficult things with no problem whatsoever, because then you learn how to read the rules, you learn how to follow it. And if you can figure this out, I think you can figure out more difficult war games. But yes, that's really where I think this would be. If you'd have a friend who want to get into war games, maybe you get this for them and kind of walk it through them, something like that. Show somebody what you mean when you mean war games. People hear war games. I heard somebody the other day talking about, what they say, that they thought that Axis and Allies had too many rules, and I thought, man, the dude really called himself a board gamer, right? Had a lot of board games and stuff, but I thought, man, I mean, that's not too many rules. So you could take this, and this would be good to show them that the type of games you play and how they can shake out, right? But yeah, it's not a bad game at all. Yeah, I'd say it's good. I'd say it's worth my money. But like I said, experienced wargamer, it may not be for you. If you're a less experienced wargamer, or you have a kid that may, when I say a kid, I don't mean a little kid. But if you have a son or a daughter, you may want to show them what wargaming is about, or your wife, or your husband for that matter. This would be a good thing. This is a good entry point to solitaire war games, in my opinion. And that's my review. Yeah, if I was to give it a grade, I'd give it a 5.5, 6 out of 10. And I that's not me being harsh. That's a true over 50% rating, right? It's better than middle. It's a little bit better than mid grade, right? And I'm not trying to sandbag. I think, like I said, it's worth the money. And but that's my opinion. As always, I try to give my honest opinion. As always, I spend my own money for it. So, but I do like games by Noah Patterson. I think that they're interesting. Some of the things Noah's doing is quite interesting, and I like to. And I'm gonna buy more in the future. That's for sure. I support Noah more in the future. That's it. That's all. All right. I'm in a weird dig right now. I'm not at my usual spot. I'm not in my usual quarters. Sorry. It's more of a makeshift type thing. Things are moving. Look at that. I'm sorry for that, but hopefully I'll be back in regular form next week. I'm going to look to do a couple of maybe something else in Spanish next week. It's just so something in Spanish and something in English next week. That would be great, I think. So, all right, y'all stay safe, be good. Take it easy out there. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.